Alright, today we had the FOMC meeting, and we did in fact have some volatile price action once again, but this was different than the last two FOMC meetings as far as what price did, which was unexpected in my opinion, since they still are signaling a cut for September, so you do expect a rally up into that cut. The first move is often the fake move, so maybe this dump is the fake move. We'll get into all of that, but before then, I do have to mention, since it is the last day of the month, this is your last chance to enter that Bing X event or to join my VIP Discord at 50% off for the next 3 months. So use my links in the description down below. Use that code early and you can get yourself my VIP Discord at just $20 a month for the next 3 months. If you do miss this, I'll have another discount for next month to get half off as well, but it'll only last 1 month. So you won't get the $20 for 3 months, you'll get the $20 a month for the first month. But let's go ahead and talk about the price action, because I do think we're at another point where the low could be in, but it's not quite as clear as yesterday, right? We had that CME gap fill yesterday. It looked very bullish, and I really thought that was going to hold, but Jerome Powell comes around and nukes the chart. So let's talk about that and some reasonings as to why we could have seen this coming on the charts, such as the daily bear div that we have talked about previously, right? We have somewhat, it's more of an exaggerated, but we got that bearish regular divergence coming in there on the Bitcoin price, the lower highs on the RSI, higher highs or same highs, you could say, on the price action. Also have this on the 12, the 10, some of your higher term time frames. So that could have been a signal for a larger dump to come. I'm sure there's a lot of people that had the same idea as me, long in this golden pocket after the CME gap fill, or they got filled in the CME gap. A lot of longs just open in this range in general that had to get flushed out of the market. So that's another reason we could have had this big dump today. But the question is this dump over, or are we going to go down further? We'll talk about that first. Let's talk about FOMC, because that is the news catalyst for today. And we do see they did in fact stay paused, as anybody could have predicted. So that was not surprising at all. The market's not reacting to unexpected news or anything like that. They're staying paused, which is good, and they signaled a cut for September. If we go over to CME Watch Group's Fed rate cut predictions, we do see that September is still at essentially a 100% chance that they are going to be cutting rates. So the market should start pricing in this bullish news event, quote unquote, because retail thinks it's bullish. In reality, it usually marks tops in the market. So a rally up in that cut to be used as exit liquidity is what makes the most sense to me. My base case remains the same. I believe we're going to go to all-time highs, and then that's where we sell off from. But let's talk about the price action on the local term time frame. Is this low already in? And you can see we have found some nice support on this volume level. This is the value area low of a fixed range we have been in, and we kind of deviated below it, traded sideways, and now we're firing off to the upside. We'll see if this does become the low, but I'm going to want a little bit more confirmation if I am going to take a long position. I like my swing failure patterns, and if you were here live on the stream towards the end of it, I did actually attempt a long position right here on that swing failure of this level. I kind of marketed in some and then took the golden pocket retrace on the 1 minute time frame. Here's what that looked like. It was a very aggressive position, kind of for science more than anything, because FOMC day you really shouldn't be trading at all, but I did go ahead, swing low, swing high, golden pocket, as well as marketed some, front running the assumption that that level was going to sweep. Should not have been that aggressive though, because we never got a candle close above. You always want to wait for these 30-minute or hourly candle closes above the sweep level, the higher highs and higher lows to be more confirmed. But that's fine. Entering aggressive allowed me to have a tight stop on it. So if you want to watch me enter a position and get stopped out live, that is in that stream that I did today. So go ahead and check that out. But if this is not to become the low, right, if we can't hold these higher lows within here, which I think, it structurally looks like we kind of want to, right? Bitcoin's wicking off of this volume level very nicely and is now just swept above this, right? So we're doing like a sweep of the sweep type of deal off that volume level. This could definitely hold, right? The first move is usually the fake move with these FOMC events. As we can see by our last FOMC meetings, this was back in June. The first move was a pump up, and then you have the fake move afterwards, sending us down into lower lows. So it could be a very similar thing happening here. First move is a fake out to the downside. Second move pumps us up into that continuation on to all-time highs. But just be cautious if you are entering like leverage positions here. Have that tight stop, because our liquidity is below us right now, right? We are starting to hunt towards this big liquidity zone, which we can see over here on CoinAnk on the 2-week time frame. It shows it best. me wait for this to load. And you will see a big chunk of liquidity down here that could potentially get grabbed. This is mainly from 63.2 to about 62.500. So that is marked out by this first sweep level, and I would expect that to still be a bullish correction if we got down there, right? That's kind of your first bigger level. And then we could also, kind of worst case scenario, while still maintaining the bullish structure, would be the CME gap, right? We could fill this CME gap just above the low end range. So that could make sense to go ahead and tap. That's also kind of within that golden pockets, swing low, swing high. So coming down to this CME gap is also a possibility for a bullish correction. We just don't want to be losing the CME gap. If we lost this, then you got to worry. Until we lose that, nothing to really worry about. So yeah, I'm still very bullish on the charts, just a little bit of a price manipulation. Too many longs were in the market up here. Had to flush them out on that news catalyst. Now the market should start pricing in those cuts before the actual sell the news event later on in September, or maybe just before September, something like that. I do expect the month of August to be very, very bullish for markets. If we go over here to Trading Light to look at our order flow, we can see had a bit of a failed auction at these lows. Was it a good low or not? I don't actually think it was on a TPO profile. The good lows would be defined by multiple single print tails at the bottom of the daily session on the 30-minute 1 hour time frames. We don't have any single print tails on the 30-minute. Do we have it on the 1 hour? We do not. So this is technically not a good low on the daily session. So that could be a sign that it's going to get swept. And another sign that potentially says that could get swept is that price is being forced up right now by spoof walls, it looks like. All right, you see these 500 Bitcoin a piece of walls that are pushing up price, but they haven't been filled yet. They could be spoofs. They could be trying to fill orders. We'll have to wait and see. And then we do see more walls limiting in up top, at the same time that these orders are being placed down here. So potentially market maker spoofing to bring price up to his short, and then he sells off from there and brings price back down. That's pretty speculative. Who's to really know if that's actually going to play out, but that's something to be thinking about. Could be kind of just a retrace back up to then roll over once again, now taking out those short positions that are FOMOing into the market. But the fact we got this bounce to begin with, found support on that volume level, is really nice to see. And I won't count it out of the equation at all that this does become the low for Bitcoin, especially if we can reclaim back within this range and start convincingly getting back in this stuff, right? This could just turn into a deviation from the FOMC news catalyst, because that's what happens every time we get an FOMC meeting. We get a dump or pump and then a reversal back to mean. So a reversal back to mean here could be very bullish and signal a continuation on up higher. All right, I was just about to go edit this video, but then I saw in the order books we have a lot of limit walls appearing right now. So we talked about this spoof order that got removed out of the order books. Price then fell afterwards, and we are creating just more poor lows now. If you're trying to long any of this, just know this is probably going to get swept. So this is going to be a level for me to watch. If we get a nice sweep of this swing failure pattern, potentially, just filling the top half of these orders, something like that. So even though I did say the bigger level is 63.2, that is where the liquidity is actually sitting. If these walls are to remain, if this actually is trying to get filled, then price would probably not want to accept all the way through this, and it would probably hold this wick as a higher low on the charts, meaning if we go to here to the daily time frame, we would not make a new low on these daily candles. And that definitely could be the play that would keep us inside this daily EMA, and I could see the low coming in, right within here, maybe just a sweep of the wick we are making right now. So we'll see how this does play out. If price is to just send up right now and this becomes the low, I'd be a little bit more cautious, because this is still poor on the daily time frame, that TPO session that we looked at earlier. It was poor before, now it's even more poor because we have made another wick here. We're just building liquidity below this. So I do expect this to get grabbed, but when it gets grabbed, we got buyers looking to scoop up that sweep, and they might hold the 63.2. We might not make a lower low. We might not grab that liquidity. Oh, and I just realized the shorts opening thing is right here. Just ignore that. That was from the live stream. It's not applicable right now. But yeah, that's kind of my guess. We're going to grab some of this, and assuming these orders are to remain, this probably does become the low around there. But, that's just based off of one market maker. He could remove these walls, and it would change the story They also could just be spoofed to try to bring price back up to this. Maybe it's the same guy and he's just trying to fill this, and then it'll be bearish. Too many possibilities when it comes to that. I just wanted to throw this into the video because this is certainly noteworthy. This is a couple thousand Bitcoin worth of limit longs. Just kind of throwing it in here because it is interesting. Not that it really tells us a whole lot on exactly this is going to happen because of these walls. These can get removed. They could mean nothing. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Back to the original recording. Another thing I like to see on the charts is with this FOMC catalyst, the dollar has in fact started to dump. We got clearly below this volume level we wanted to get under, and we are now backtesting this range as resistance. So looking very bearish for the dollar, which is what we want to see because Bitcoin is inversely correlated with the DXY. Another thing that's real nice to see is that the S&P has confirmed back above this range. We do have a futures gap down here though, so don't be surprised if we do wick back in there. But with this gap, this is now going to act as support. So nice to see we are back above support on the S&P, and then the Russell continues to show very bullish structure, lining up for a potential breakout of these highs. We had broken out today, with that news catalyst, and then dumped back below. So it could turn into a swing failure pattern. We'll watch out, to see if this does rotate down. We just want to be holding, our value area low of the previous bull market range within here. As long as we can do that, or if we could just break out here, that's going to be very, very good for us in crypto because all of our assets are considered risk on, just like the Russell. So yeah, overall, I like that Bitcoin is continuing to hold this daily EMA. This is a big estimated moving average that we should be holding in our bull runs. So if we were to break this, that wouldn't be the best sign ever. But like I said, coming down to grab this liquidity makes a lot of sense. And we could even potentially fill this CME gap and it would still be a bullish correction. So we'll see what does play out here on the charts. We either have a deviation play going on right now. We either have the liquidity level or the CME level. Those are your three levels to the downside, and then back up to the upside. 70K could act as resistance, but we already tested this one time right here, so I would expect, honestly, if we are to go back into bullish structure, the next target is absolutely all-time highs. But if you have any questions about anything I talked about, or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below, and below that is that VIP Discord that is the limited time left to get 50% off for the next 3 months. So don't miss out on that if you do want some valuable information when it comes to leveraged trading. And then also, if you're quick with it, sign up using my Bing Excel link and you will be registered to enter that limited time event that is only for the month of July. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.